Spring is here, the flowers breathe their fragrance. Hey, everybody. Amitofo. Welcome. Glad you are here. My name is Heng. Today is Saturday, May 11th, here in the Gold Coast of Australia. It is Friday, the 10th of May, back in California. Glad you have joined our lecture today on Master Empty Cloud's picture biography. It's been a few weeks since we've had a chance to talk because of encounters with infectious viruses, but we're back today and we'll see how things go. What we're going to do, first of all, is we're going to bow 3 times to the Buddha, and then we're going to ask Chen Yu, our tireless coordinator, to do the Dharma request. So let's get started. Not that one. We want, hold on here. There we go. Okay, let's see. Dharma request, requesting Dharma. Okay, you all ready? I'm going to put my palms together. We can make 3 half bows. Let's see here. Everybody can hear my voice. Okay, here we go. First bow, half bow. Second bow. And third bow. Okay, Chen Yu, if you'd like to request Dharma, please go ahead and do it now.
恭请大德僧听，为此法会集一切众生，请转妙法轮，教导我们如何了生脱死，离苦得乐。速证无生。Will the Sangha with great virtue, out of compassion, for the sake of this assembly and all living beings, please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach us how to live suffering and attain bliss and end birth and death and quickly realize non-birth.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Namo sadanto suchedoye alahadi samyao samputoshye.
Namo sadanto suchedoye alahadi samyao samputoshye.
Alrighty, 无上甚深微妙法，百千万劫难遭遇。我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。Supreme and wondrous Dharma, subtle and profound, rarely is encountered, even in billions of eons. But now we see and hear it and accept it reverently. May we truly understand the Buddha's actual meaning. Alrighty, we appreciate the Dharma request. Thank you, Chen Yu, and I will be happy to do my job. We respectfully acknowledge the Kombu-Meri people of the Ugambi language region as traditional storytellers and custodians of the land where the monastery is located. We pay our respects to their elders past, present, and emerging, and to all First Nations people whose sovereignty was never ceded. And we say, 我们恭敬地承认Ugambi语族的Kombu-Mari人，他们是我们寺院所在地的所传统叙事者和守护人。我们向过去、现在和未来的长者们致敬，并且向所有从来没有放弃主权的第一民族的原住民致敬。Yes, and we got one more protocol here. The bell song. We'll do it without the bell today. The bell sound wide resounds Throughout 100 million worlds, the Buddha's law is heard and spread. All throughout the triple world, the wondrous sounds that everywhere fill the Dharma realm with peace. May those who hear it gain the strength to follow in faith the Buddha's path. 众生传3000劫内，佛法扬万亿国中，共训其法界和平，利益报他诺后德。Hey, alrighty, there we go. We have finished our protocols for lecturing, and I would like to, let's see here. Here we go. Yes, submit, okay. All right. Now, as I said, it's been a while. Let's see here. If you would like to listen to today's lecture in Vietnamese, there is a link in the chat box. Go to the chat box and you'll find that link, which will take you out to a fluent Vietnamese translation provided by our kind-hearted volunteers who are making it possible. There it is. Also, 如果各位呢，你们想听中文，我所讲英语呢，我们有义工发心帮忙翻译。那个控制板的右下角可以看到 interpretation， 就那里有办法听到流利的普通话。Okay. Also, if anybody would like to step in and do a Dharma request yourself, there is a link in the chat box that will show you how to, actually it's not a link, it's an email address. And that'll help you get in line to request Dharma. If you only can do one language, we'll be happy to supply the other half. What you're seeing on my screen here on my desktop is Master Empty Cloud at age 118. You can imagine sitting that straight and looking that awesome at age 118. And we can, compare how do we feel at not even half that age, right? This is Bhikshu for the ages. There's a reason why he is called the Zongmen, the Taidou, the North Star of our school. The North Star doesn't move. It's the center of the galaxy and everything circles around it. He definitely earned that name. And the stories that we're telling, this is a storytelling hour. Stories that we're telling about Master Empty Cloud give us a kind of a detailed account of how he developed that kind of strength. So at the moment, there are 70 some of us here joined together because I was away recovering from the same old virus that everybody else is suffering with. But we're back. We should be meeting regularly from now on. Happy Buddha's birthday to those of you who are celebrating. And today our community around the globe begins in Fremont, California, goes to Ukiah, California, here in the Gold Coast of Queensland, Malaysia, Singapore, let's see here, Kuala Lumpur, Sydney, Cascade, Colorado, Campbell, Colorado. Bill and Brian are here. Celeste is in Hong Kong. Let's see here, Ms. Cha in Malaysia. Connie is here from Sunnyvale, Cook from Alameda. Cynthia is here from Saratoga. Hi, Cynthia. Duke Levan is in Montreal, La Belle Province. Let's see, Gohong is in Alameda. Jane is in Ukiah. Good. Let's see here. Jean is here. Jennifer's in Los Altos. Johan, Malaysia. See, Joseph in Sydney. Justin's in Round Rock, Texas. Kelly's in Ukiah. The Lamb family is slowly returning to California. Good. Okay, Miss Lee is in Shandong. Loy is here from Singapore. Mai in the Bay Area. Mr. Lu is in Liaoning. Let's see here. Michael's in St. Petersburg, Florida. Welcome, Michael. Guojuan is in Alameda. Nini is in Philippines. Let's see. This one is in Mesa. Paul is in Pinole. Peggy's in Calgary. Ron's in San Jose. Sandy is in, I believe, Sunnyvale. No, Santa Clara. Let's see here. Sarah's in Memphis. Okay, Sarah. Miss Lee's in Baltimore. Sheila's in Ukiah. Mr. Liu in North Brunswick. North Brunswick. Where is North Brunswick? I don't even know. Might be in Canada. Sylvia's in Seattle. Don is in Ukiah. Tran's in San Jose. Willie's in Virginia. YC's in Ukiah. Miss Ding is in Vancouver. Ying is here. All right. 我们改到这个半球，邱福芬台北，we have friends from 合肥、安徽、北京、悉尼、辽宁、深圳、圣河西、陕西宝鸡，福建，泉州、福建、张家口、河北、北京，还有呼和浩特、内蒙古、哈尔滨、浙江、上海、辽宁，东北最多广东、山东、上海 and Shanghai. Good. What a wonderful thing to do to be able to join friends around the planet using the Dharma. Okay. Let's see. Here's our text. Storytelling time. Let's catch up where we were before last week. Master Wenji the beggar saved our teacher's life, then made it possible for him to bow along without the burden of his baggage, because Wenji was carrying his bags for him, so he could make faster time than usual. And in every way, the presence of this mysterious fellow who said he came from Wu Taishan himself made the bowing possible for Master Empty Cloud. They got to a place called Lixiang, leaving appearances behind. Unfortunately, they didn't really leave appearances behind because the appearance of the beggar made the overseer, the abbot of a monastery called Lixiangsi, unhappy, and he kicked him out. He disrespected him. He said, "You're not welcome here. You're a layperson. You're a beggar, etc." So, of course, Manjushri Bodhisattva, who is the undercover beggar, doesn't need to be abused that way. And he says, "No worries, fine. She's right, mate," he says, and says, "Somebody will come along to take care of your baggage. I'm out of here." And he disappeared. Now, with that, this is the Zhike, the guest prefect. And at that point, the guest prefect scolded Master Empty Cloud and said, how could you hang around with this? How could you have a servant in a time when there's famine in the land? He just scolded him up and down. And once the beggar, Wenji, disappeared, the guest prefect's tone changed. And suddenly he's very solicitous of Master Empty Cloud, serves him noodles, serves him tea, and is very kind to him. He says, "Oh, please stay." Now, at this point, Master Empty Cloud here's where we finished last time. Master Empty Cloud says, this is a person of any value will not turn his back on a friend, especially someone who's been so essential to my pilgrimage, saving my life twice. So we can go quickly through this last week to catch up, and then we'll move on into this week's section. Here we go, just to put us in context. Here we go. 闻鸡走, no need to 合掌. I do it every time. No need to put your palms in. 闻鸡走后，智科改容曰： 请进宋丹炕上斟茶十面，殷勤备至。公念温机，遂告辞。各旅店找寻文姬，不见踪迹。时4月18夜，皓月在天如昼。公欲追文姬，正月光向前，即拜生火患恼热。After Wenji departed, the guest prefect's manner changed inexplicably. Please come in, he said, and showed the master to a heated brick bed. He then prepared some tea and noodles. His attitude was completely different. He was polite and attentive, but the master was thinking only about Wenji and immediately took leave of the monastery. Going to all the inns in town, he searched for the beggar, but there was no trace of him anywhere. It being the 18th of the 4th month, the moon was bright. The evening was like daylight. The master took advantage of the moonlight to continue bowing briskly along in an attempt to overtake Wenji. This accelerated pace caused his inner heat to rise, and he developed a fever. Oh no. Here's the image, carrying his baggage. He's bowing along fast in the moonlight, looking for his companion, his benefactor. So the verse that Shifu wrote goes, 前居后宫摩信天，随流九位一元谦，一心追赶文集伴，月下百香行彻间。Watching arrogance turn to respect, polished his nature. Although invited to stay, the affinities were not there. He wished only to catch his companion, Wenji. Thus, bowing along on that moonlit night, he felt agitation. All right. I can just imagine our storytelling mentor, Brian, how he would portray the change of face of the guest prefect from nasty to unctuous, right? That would be quite a character challenge. Great fun to have him suddenly be so friendly and respectful when before he was just a scold. How do you explain it? Why the change of face like that? And my thought on it is, this is the reality of historically the appearance of Manjushri. Manjushri around Wu Taishan, historically, that is to say, from the Han Dynasty for 2,000 years, has appeared when the conditions are right. And if the conditions aren't right, you cannot make him appear. He picks the time, he picks the opportunity. We've told the story of the other three steps, the first 3 steps on Bao monks, Heng Ju and Heng You, who Heng Ju instigated, provoked Manjushri to appear and get scolded and taught by him at a mom and pop grocery store up in rural Washington state. Heng You, the Dharma protector, didn't even see him. He was out on the road with the cart. So only Heng Ju got to see Manjushri, but then it was to be told that he's not really a Buddhist yet. He doesn't really believe in compassion, doesn't practice compassion. So Manjushri picks the time and place. And this guest prefect at the monastery did not have the affinities. He took the opportunity to scold Manjushri, bad idea, and lost the chance to meet the greatly wise Bodhisattva. So that's interesting, fascinating story. Is that why this change, that maybe the guest prefect was just an ordinary person who saw no benefit? Maybe he thought that the beggar couldn't make an offering, possibly. For whatever reason, he sucked up to Master Empty Cloud, who was having none of it. He, as soon as he saw the insincerity of the guest prefect, he too, I'm out of here. Thanks for your offer of noodles and tea. Goodbye. No, thank you. And now, the sad part is Master Empty Cloud saw this train wreck happen and couldn't prevent it. But now is his chance to run after Manjushri to see if he can't possibly catch up to him and express his deep, intense gratitude for all of the life-saving medicine and food and support and encouragement and actual sweat labor carrying the bags. And nope, no bodhisattva to be found. Poof. He's gone just the way, poof, he appeared, right? That's this is the magic of Master Wen Shushiri Posa, Master Wenji. All right, that catches us up. What next? Let's see what happens. The next encounter. The year is 1884. It's the 10th year of the Guangxu reign period of the Qing dynasty. He is a 45-year-old monk. The heading goes, 拒绝与欢迎者, first rejected and then welcomed. We ready? Here we go. 必流血不止20日，至黄土滩，白云色。知客见公口流水，不流，强一许。21日，进太原城，至极乐寺，饱受责骂，不挂单。22，出城礼拜，遇青年僧文贤，特别欢迎，结成恭敬，住10日，行。The master had by now developed an incessant nosebleed. He reached Baiyun, White Cloud Monastery in Huangtutan on the 20th. When the guest prefect saw the master's bloody mouth, he did not allow him to stay there. He limited him to staying one night only. On the 21st, the master entered the city of Taiyuan, extremely level, is that our best, maybe, yeah. He went first to Jile, Ultimate Bliss Monastery, where he received considerable verbal abuse and did not stay there. On the 22nd, he left the city, continued bowing. He then encountered a young Sangha member named Wen Xian, erudite worthy, who warmly received the master with sincerity and deference. The master stayed 10 days and then resumed his bowing. All right. So we learned from previously that he, his, call it 内热, 生火患脑热. His inner heat, that is to say, Master Empty Cloud was not only bowing faster, which generates, it's a physical process. So your breathing, your pulse is accelerated, your breath breathing rate is accelerated, and his mentality, his mood was accelerated because he was distraught. He's going to lose his Dharma companion. His true Shanzhishi is now can't be found. So he's agitated. What happens? It increases. Now he'd nearly died, mind you. Before the encounter with the previous guest prefect, he had been at the point of death. So his inner resources are depleted, just the way COVID eats away at your chi, freezing to death with dysentery. Incessant diarrhea also drains you of any energy. So only because of Wenji's miraculous cure is he able to bow at all. So now, fragile as he is, frail, he's got this now this fever to find his Dharma friend. Can't find him. What happens? Nosebleed. Nosebleed. Anybody who's ever had been afflicted with that problem, you know what it's a game stopper because you're the fire internally just pops a blood vessel in your nose and there's blood coming down. So 20 days, he gets to a place called Huangtutan, a place called White Cloud Monastery. And the guest prefect there, I don't know, can you blame him? He sees this monk show up with a bloody blood covering his face, and he says, "I'm sorry, you can't stay here. You're sick. You might have who knows what disease. You're not welcome here. You can stay one night." 强一许, right? I'll let you stay one night, but you cannot guadan. You can't register here. Guadan is the custom where you show up, you show your precept ordination certificate, your ID as a monk, and they register you because the Sangha that way knows who is traveling where. Are you a real monk, first of all? Are you a pretender who might be like a political dissident? Maybe you're a thief or a criminal who is pretending to be a monk. Maybe you're a member of the royal family who is trying to escape responsibilities, like the emperor who preferred to be a monk. So that's how they keep track of who is who, and they let you guadan. You can stay there for free. And if you're a bigwig, if you're an important monk, they're going to give you a job. You're a good advertisement for the monastery. So none of this worked. On the 21st, he entered the city of Taiyuan at a place called Jile Si, Ultimate Happiness Monastery. And what happened? Another round of scolding. He gets rejected and scolded. Never mind that this is the famous Xuyun Lecture, Master Empty Cloud. He gets scolded and rejected, sent away. Oh man, no affinities, 没有缘分. And on the 22nd, 出城礼拜, he leaves the city of Taiyuan and goes out to Bao. Now, what could be worse? He's got no Dharma friend. He has no affinities in Taiyuan. He's rejected everywhere he goes. He's just barely able to bow. He's got a nosebleed that won't stop, and he's being scolded. All right, tough conditions. From the Buddhist point of view, what do you say about this? You say, 业障, 现前, his karmic obstacles, that he's, even though, what, 8th stage bodhisattva, still has karma, clearly, and he's paying back some debts from the past because he is not welcome here. And then, strange as everybody carries, Master Hua said that in order to fully understand our karma, you have to be a Buddha. 10th stage bodhisattvas still have difficulty sorting out all of the qian yin hou guo, the past causes, the later results of one individual. The Shifu said our karma is like a bowl of stew. Here is a carrot. Here is a piece of celery. Here is a piece of tofu. Here's a tomato. It's all mixed up together because hot on the heels of being rejected by the Zhike of Jile Si and scolded and thrown out, he meets a Shan Zhishi, a Zhi Yin Zhe, someone who knows his sound, that is to say, a bosom friend. Qingnian Seng Wenxian, a young monk whose name is Wenxian, who takes one look at Master Empty Cloud and goes, oh, a sage. Here is a saint. 特别欢迎，特别欢迎，竭诚恭敬, with ultimate respect, welcomes him in and says, please stay with me for 10 days. Please stay as long as you like. Warmly receives the master with sincerity and deference. So head spinning, right? On one hand, scolded and rejected. On the other hand, welcomed with respect and treated like the vigorous cultivator that he is. So here is Wen Xian Fa Shi, the young monk, welcoming the pilgrim, empty cloud, the city of Taiyuan. How do you make sense of that? All you can say is karma is a bowl of stew. It's hard to know what's what. The Chinese goes, 一番寒冷，一番春，方受白颜欲垂青，巨流欢迎公亲历，试问动心不动心。Passing through the freezing cold, he then encountered spring. After glares and ridicule, he met kindness and favor. The master himself experienced both rejection and warm welcome. I ask you now, did his mind move or did it not? So look how Shifu deals with this circumstance. He poses it as a koan, a kind of a gong'an, and takes us right into the mind of Master Empty Cloud. How did the monk react to rejection and welcome? And he then Shifu turns it on us. Shi Wen, I want to ask you, he says, what do you think? Dong Xin, move mind, Wu Dong Xin, not move mind. Was Master Empty Cloud pleased at being welcomed and upset by being rejected? So I'll leave the question for all of you to answer on your own. Yeah. Now, take a look here. Oops, what am I looking for? Here it is. Not that. There we go. We've been checking in with the Nianpu, the original biography that from which Shifu took the stories, selected the stories for the 200 episodes of the picture biography. Okay, and it's very interesting because, as we know, sometimes there can be years will pass and there's no story. It's just, there's the up above, you've seen, it's like, let me give you an example. So here is Master Empty Cloud's writing about his biography is very sparse, very terse, a few words, cover, years. Now, when we get to, there we go, for example, right, so here it is, age 42, one story, Gao Minsi. When we get to the pilgrimage, these stories of the pilgrimage, we get more detail and actual dialogue. When Wenji shows up, we get back and forth. We get the beggar Wenji's words. And it's like Master Empty Cloud wanted to record these experiences because they were so precious. So look at how long. I mean, great detail here. So recovering after freezing in the snow, recovering after dysentery, and Wenji washes his clothes. And so here we get to this encounter. And I wanted to share with you some of the profound, the abundant details here. So Wenji says to him what? He says, okay, it's not far from here to Wutaishan. I'm going to go ahead. You come at your own pace. Somebody will come to help you with your baggage before long. Sending it to Wutaishan, says Wenji. And then poof, he disappears, gone. Now, 我护留不得, I tried to get him to stay and not go, and I couldn't. 屈银抽银, I offered to pay the zhike, and he wouldn't take it. So Master Empty Cloud wants Manjushri, now it's not spoken. Does he know this is Manjushri, or is it Wenji the beggar in disguise? Sri Lao Hershang doesn't say, but you kind of wonder, could he not know? I mean, miraculously. Anyway, that's not the problem. In this case, he knows that this is his true Shanzhishi, his good and wise friend, spiritual friend. And he says, please stay with me. Manjushri knows that he doesn't have the affinities there. Master Empty Cloud will be fine. So he leaves. Okay, after this, the zhike, the guest prefect, Gaiyan Yuese, changes his appearance suddenly, changes his entire attitude. He qi song dan. He is now very polite, and he shows Master Empty Cloud to a guest room. Dao tu fang re kang shang cha. He installs him on a warm bed or a warm couch, a heated couch, and serves him tea. Qin zuo mian, makes a pot of noodles with his own hands. Pei chi eats them with me. Qi qi ju dong. Strange that he now suddenly is the most courteous of hosts. Yo gu zuo yo wu ren. So I ask him, how come he's all alone here? How come he's got no companions? So I ask him, are there lots of Sangha members who come by here? He says, the guest prefect says, 我在外江多年. I was elsewhere beyond the river for many years, 回来住持, and I came back to be the abbot here. I think this is Baiyun Si, right? White Cloud Temple. 连年 Sui Huang. There were many years of famine here. It was a poor neighborhood out here in Shanxi province. 清流的我一个. So finally, I was the only one left. I was the only one who survived. 两亿之子. This is all of my provisions. 是一举动，是有戏而. So he said, that's why 是才举动，是有戏而，心无见怪. Something like, that's why I put on that show. Please don't blame me. 情无见怪. Please don't blame me for sending away Manjushri because there's not much to share. Something like that. I was 10 parts sad, says Master Empty Cloud. This really made me sad. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Mixed tears and laughter, right? So from this you would think he understands who Manjushri was, maybe. Mian chi mian banwan. I forced it to eat half a bowl of noodles and then said, goodbye. Clearly he knows that this guest prefect missed his chance. So, okay. So that's part of the story. 必留亦无心答应也。必留住亦无心答应也。He wanted me to stay, but I couldn't. I just had no heart to do that. 隧道街上旅店找文书复制. So I went everywhere looking for Master Empty Cloud, for the beggar Wenji, and couldn't find him. 是4月18. It was the 18th of the 4th lunar month. The moon was really bright. I went chasing after Wenji. 星夜向太原不向外迁. So I went into stars night 向太原复拜向前进. I headed towards Taiyuan. 心机起火. My mind was really agitated and the fire rose. 次日脑热, and I had fiery mind, fiery brain. 流血鼻流血不止. My nose began to bleed without cease. 20th day, got to Huangtu Tan Baiyun Si. There we go. Oh, that was called Li Shang Si, right? The former place. 此是树上道场. It was a special kind of monastery. 吃客监狱口流鲜血不准挂单. The guest prefect there saw my nose bleed and frightened him, wouldn't let me stay, wouldn't let me register. 勉强过一次, stay one night only. 21日早进太原城. I got into Taiyuan, 至极乐寺, got to Jilo Monastery, Ultimate Bliss Monastery. 报寿. Okay, here's where Shifu picked up the story. I got nothing but scolding and abuse, and they wouldn't let me register. 22早出城礼拜. I left the city bowing. 北门外遇一青年僧, and I met a young monk at the north gate of the city, whose name was Wen Xian. 见我近前招呼. When he saw me, immediately he called to me. 接过拜登行李. He wanted to take my baggage. 请进寺内, welcomed me into his temple. 爱敬如亲. He treated me as if we were related, as if we were family. 领导方丈. Took me into the abbot's quarters. 陪茶饭. Fed me with tea and food. 探视我问. Inquired as to my circumstances. 大和尚是干与岁又系外生人，何以在此住持? He said, let's see, the Venerable Sir 是20余岁. You seem to be 20 years old, right? That's what he's saying. 又系外生人. And you seem you're a foreigner. 何以在此住持? How come 何以在此住持? Can you be the abbot? Yeah, please be the abbot here. So, okay. Now, clearly there's detail here that Shifu didn't include in the brief biography. But I wanted to share a story here, this being a storytelling opportunity, to tell about the city of Taiyuan and another monastery. There is a monastery in Taiyuan called Chongshan Si, the monastery of amazing goodness, ultimate goodness, Chongshan Si. Right here. Okay. Chongshan Si. This is a famous historic monastery in the city of Taiyuan. Here's the story. It's in Shanxi, Taiyuan. It's, let's see here, 现为山西省佛教会所在地，全重点文物保护. It's where the Buddhist Association of China is for Shanxi province, and it is a protected monastery nationally. So it's a famous monastery. And the reason I wanted to tell a story is when you go to, if you take a pilgrimage to Wutaishan, to Five Peaks Monastery, Taiyuan is the closest big city. And this is where people go on their pilgrimage route. If this is kind of the jump off place into Wutaishan. And sure enough, when we, back in 1989, when our delegation of monks and lay people went to Chaobai Wutaishan, we passed through Chongshan. Now, at the time, Chongshan was just barely, I don't think it was actually opened after the Cultural Revolution. It was still it had not been officially open, but we had Master Mingyang's energy behind us, his permission. So they opened it for us. And we were given an opportunity to look at something that I will never forget as long as I live, which is 3 particular Buddha images. There we go. This is the 1,000-bowl Manjushri, Qianbo Wenshu. And this is the same one, a little closer. It's a Manjushri Bodhisattva, not a 1,000-hand Guanyin, as you would assume. Every one of the hands has a bowl, an alms bowl. Qianbo Wenshu. There is also and this image is about 18 feet tall. To see it, you turn your head way back to look because they're vast images. 3 of them side by side. The other 2, one is a Puxian Pusa, which is also incredibly marvelous. This is the Puxian Pusa image. They are Ming Dynasty images and just incredible. And then there is 1,000-hand Guanyin, Yo Qian Shou Guan Shiyin Pusa, which you can see just amazing, right? So there is a Qianbo Wenshu, a Puxian Pusa, and a Qian Shou Guanyin Pusa. 3 incredible images. Now, though by themselves, they were astonishing. But the abbot of the monastery greeted us and said, I want you all to know this monastery is very, very special. He said, when the Cultural Revolution came along, he said, we had a lot of 那个古董, 那个宝贝. We had a lot of antique, wonderful, precious heirloom Dharma treasures from the past. He said, we have this lapis lazuli paper, Avatamsaka Sutra, blue paper with gold ink. That was a gift of the emperor to Taiyuan Chongshan, which used to be vast. Our monastery used to cover blocks, miles of real estate. Now it's small. It was used as a factory during the Cultural Revolution. He said, what the abbot, my predecessor, did, he had fa qi, bells and drum and wooden fish and all from the Ming Dynasty. What he did was he brought them out and put them on the altar and said, this is all just old trash. It's just our everyday Dharma instruments. Please don't let us keep chanting here. And in fact, these were precious heirlooms, but they went back into service every day as the wooden fish of the monastery. They were Ming Dynasty antiques and precious. And he said, oh yeah, this old scripture, we just recite this every day. He was opening up lapis lazuli paper and golden ink as their recitation. And so the Red Guards came in and ignored the garbage on the altar, and they were looking for the treasures, right? He said, yes. He said, I want you to look up at the ceiling, he said. If you notice, he said, up here on the ceiling, there's a spot that it looks like it's been kind of rebuilt. It's different from the rest of the ceiling. The pattern is different. He said, you know why? He said, I want you to look down on the floor underneath that spot. You'll notice on the floor, there is, it's been patched. Obviously something disrupted the original flooring and it was rebuilt. He said, this is directly in front of the three images that I showed you. This is directly in front of the Guanyin and the Wenshu and the Pushan, these vast images. He said, you know why the ceiling looks funny the way it does and why the floor looks funny the way it does? He said, during the war against the Japanese, he said, Taiyuan was one of the cities that the Japanese bombed. And of course, we were just holding our breath, hoping that the monastery would not be bombed. And you never knew where the bombers were going to fly and what was going to survive and what was going to be destroyed. And so he said there was this day when the bombers were closer and closer and closer, and we were all just praying. We were on our knees saying, Namo Guanshi Yin Pusa, Namo Guanshi Yin Pusa, Namo Jiuku Jiunan, Datsi Dabe Guanshi Yin Pusa, please protect our monastery. And we heard the bomber come right over the top. And then we heard this huge crash, and through the roof came a 500-pound bomb that landed on the floor and bounced. Bunk, 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 bunk. And reciting Guanyin's name, we got the monks together. We picked up the bomb and carried it out to the curb and set it down. And he said, it didn't explode right in front of Guanyin Pusa with 1,000 hands. He said, so we patched the roof and we patched the floor and we kept reciting Namo Guanshi Yin Pusa. He said that's why this temple is considered very special among those who know the story. So if you go to the Berkeley Monastery, I took pictures of all three of the images and took them to Berkeley, and they're in frames along the eastern facing wall of those three images. So pretty magic. And it will make you believe in the power of Guanyin Bodhisattva. But the this is the Wenshu Pusa, the Pushin Pusa image, which is quite spectacular. You can see the power of these images. And then the 1,000-hand, 1,000-bowl Manjushri, unbelievably wonderful. So this is the story of Taiyuan, and Master Empty Cloud found very mixed affinities. First received, first rejected, then received. So what can you say about that other than karma for all of us is deep and old? The Buddha himself had 3 karmic debts to repay, even as the Buddha. So how much the more so, Master Empty Cloud? As the story goes, they say, 虚云老和尚十难48期, Master Empty Cloud's 10 difficulties and 48 miracles. 坐月五地四朝，不觉苍生几度，受尽九魔十难，了知世事无常. He was alive through 5 emperors and 4 dynasties. He didn't experience the passing of the seasons as they all went through. Shou Jin, he underwent 9 rubbings, 9 crises, and 10 difficulties, and he understood that the affairs of the world are characterized by impermanence, transience. So there we go. 一番寒冷一番春，放手把雨雨吹清，去留还迎共亲历。试问动心不动心？ Passing through the freezing cold, he then encountered spring. After glares and ridicule, he met kindness and favor. The master himself experienced both rejection and warm welcome. I ask you now, did his mind move or did it not? Amitabha. And this is our grand teacher. This is our teacher's teacher. Within our lifetime, these the living presence of Master Empty Cloud is a very real presence in our lives. So I'm going to invite everybody to join me in transferring merit and send it out. Think of a place that can use the goodness of your energy, sending out the blessings, and let's use Medicine Buddha's mantra to send it out. Here we go. Om Namo Bhagavate Vaidurya Pravarajaya Arahate Samyak Sambuddhaya Adhyata Saje Saje Sadhya Gate Swaha Bhagavate Saja Vaidurya Pravarajaya Arahate Samyak Sambuddhaya Adhyata Saje Saje Sadhya Sangate Swaha. One more time. Bhagavate Vaidurya Pravarajaya Arahate Samyak Sambuddhaya. All right, here we go. Saje, Saje, all right, everyone, I'd like to invite you to join me now and bow to the Buddhas. Here we go. Right from where you're sitting, you can do one chin. Okay, first bow. Second bow. Third bow. Bow in respect to the Venerable Master. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. All right, we made it through the lecture. We'll see you all next week. Amitabha. Bye now.